Lord Songima Bay! Oh, I wonder what we're in for this time. Well, hello! Is that the Traveler and our dearest Miss Expo Manager Yehoda? You're in luck. I'm offering a whole host of Expo exclusive discounts. Don't miss out.
Paimon's not remotely surprised to see Dory here. This event's practically made for her.
Yeah, she attends religiously every year. And she's always the seller who we get the highest number of complaints about. Complaints? Every single mora I make from this expo is 100% legitimate. I've never broken the rules, and my prices are entirely fair. If people regret their purchases and want to grumble about it behind my back, that's not my problem.
Paimon can hazard a guess as to why people might be complaining.
I know. And every dispute ends in your favor after you've peppered the buyer with 1,000,001 reasons why you're not in the wrong. It's just... Could you maybe not find a way to send every single one of your customers complaining to me this time? I'm begging you, Lord Songema Bay, for me, please. How about this? A special opening sale just for Miss Yehoda. 50% off! In other words, I'll do my very best to keep the number of complaints down to no more than half of my customers. Sound good?
Jeez, what a bargain.
Works for me, I guess.
Have you been to the Clink Clink Krumkake Craft Shop's booth yet? They're selling blueprints for a machine. With everything Uncle's taught me, I bet I could build one of those thwack and smack defense spots. We should buy a blueprint.
Sounds like a waste of money to me. We should be spending our expo earnings on more important stuff like clothes.
But Uncle said the most important thing is that we have fun.
Guys, please don't fight.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm afraid no one really comes to this expo looking to buy toys. If you make any more here, it won't be nearly enough to buy yourselves a blueprint. I doubt it'll even cover your new clothes.
Oh, hi, Yehoda. Hi, Traveler.
I came here to make sure you kids stay safe, so listen carefully. If you want to look around the expo, that's fine, but you need to be extremely careful when talking to any strangers, okay? A lot of crazy people show up to this expo, both sellers and buyers. You don't know what they might be capable of. So if anything happens, don't try to deal with it yourselves. Call for me right away. You got that?
Yehoda's really serious about looking out for these kids.
Well, it's kinda my job. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. Oh, just take a look around. This booth is the only one being run by a bunch of kids. If there's anyone out there aiming to cause trouble, you can bet they'll start with the weakest target. This exhibitor's demands are ridiculous.
What's wrong?
This exhibitor is apparently selling some rare Natlanese artifacts. And he's making some extremely unrealistic demands about how he wants them stored. I know the contract says that we're responsible for storage, but I'm sorry. It's unreasonable to expect us to meet these requirements.
Unreasonable? These are rare and very fragile historical relics we're talking about. You can't just throw them into a warehouse, okay? They have to be handled with care. Hermione?
Yep, that's Hermione, all right. So, what exactly do you need?
Well, I suppose I can use the assigned warehouse if I really have to. Just don't tell Granny Eatsley about this, please.
Whatever Hermione means, it seems like it carries even more weight than name-dropping Boss Neff.
Welcome to the Treasure Hoarder booth.
The treasure hoarders have a booth?
Yep, every year. This is the largest legal black market in all of Teyvat. The stuff they dig up is perfect for a place like this.
But can one person really represent their entire organization?
No way. Treasure Hoarder is just a catch-all title. Their internal structure is crazy complicated. The thing is, the members who'd apply to set up the exhibits used to give themselves ever more highfalutin titles. You know, to boost buyer confidence. Over time, it became an unwritten rule that each expo can only have one Treasure Hoarder booth. The different factions usually duke it out beforehand for the right to take part.
To be honest, I see myself as a member of the Fruity Order first, and a Treasure Hoarder second. Of course it does. The Fruity Order is known far and wide for its heroic deeds.
The Fruity Order's a familiar name around here, at least. They've been winning the Treasure Hoarder Expo rights for a few years now. Although, this guy's a new face.
Wait, that's a familiar face. Isn't that Viswava?
Why, if it isn't the Traveler. Knew there'd be some big names here.
Let's get the official business over with first. Unfortunately, you're the first seller at the expo to receive a complaint. We've received word that the muskets you're selling are a few shots away from turning into scrap.
Well, yeah. It's written here plain as day. Muskets for sale. Condition extremely poor. The internal grooves have been worn away and the ammo might be damp. Best practice is to pray that it doesn't explode before each use.
Oh, wait, so you weren't speaking in code to cover your tracks?
Code?
Yeah, sometimes people bring stuff that needs to be kept on the down low, so they dress it up as junk beforehand. Happens on the black market all the time.
You're overthinking things here. This stuff really is junk. We were just gonna scrap them, but my superiors thought we might as well try and make some more off of them. And who knows? If the prayers are answered and the gun ends up firing a few times, the buyer hasn't totally wasted their money, have they?
Guess not.
I mean, a weapon on the brink of ruin that's still capable of considerable firepower. Doesn't that just scream black market to you?
Yeah, but who would buy something like this?
Maybe collectors who don't care if it works, and desperados who don't care if it explodes.
Fair enough.
exhibitors from offering drink samples, but I need to make sure you understand what you're getting into. Any samples you offer are at your own risk. If anything goes wrong, like if a customer has a bad reaction to one of your products, the expo can't take any responsibility.
Rest assured, ma'am, what you see here is 100% pure Mondstadt vintage. Straight from the Dawn Winery's cellars, actually.
Really? Wow-wee! You don't often find Mondstadt wine this far away from home.
Ah, you're telling me. If you try to ship this stuff through the proper channels, all the taxes and tariffs would send the prices skyrocketing. But that's where my connections come in. With me, you get Mondstadt wine at Mondstadt prices.
Cool! What kind of connections?
Hey! You can't go around asking people questions like that!
Oh, it's you two! Been a while, hasn't it?
Wait, you know this guy too? Okay, I'm slowly starting to get why Boss Neff asked you to help me out.
Ah, you must be the expo manager. Was there something you needed from me?
Nope, just checking in. You're just selling a few ordinary items, is that right?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Okay. I mean, we've got people selling toys this year, so why not?
You seem confused. In the right environment, ordinary items don't have to fetch an ordinary price, you know? I'm sure I'll meet someone at this trade expo who recognizes their hidden value.
Cool. Well, you do you. I'm certainly not gonna stop you.
What about you, friend? Care to do some business? Well, to be honest, I spent most of the ones in my inventory to purchase this batch of goods. The ones you see here are just for decoration. But I'm confident that I can make a killing here, so I'll be sure to make another batch of Boxa Marvels should the opportunity arise later.
It's her! The boss of the Spina di Rosula! Huh? Uh-oh, things are about to kick off.
What are you worried about, Yehuda?
Shh! Don't you see him over there? Parasol Lady's the head honcho of the Fontanian underworld. Rumor is she pulled the crumbling organization back together and avenged her father with her own hands. Oh, we don't want to get on her bad side. An eye patch over there is a merc captain from Liyue. She has a fleet of her own that sails the seas. Most people know to steer clear. I was worried this expo might not be big enough for the two of them, if you catch my drift. So I kept their booths far apart. Looks like they wound up meeting in the end, though. You don't think they're butting heads already, do you? What am I gonna do?
Hey guys! What's up?
Oh, hey there, partner in Paimon. Partner?
Can't go far in my line of work without hearing about the president of the Spina di Rosula or the champion duelist of the court of Fontaine. Thought I'd make some friends since the opportunity's presenting itself. Plus, now that the traveler's arrived, I wonder if these ladies might just agree to coming aboard for a drink.
What's the Traveler got to do with that?
You're too kind, Miss Beto.
So, the thing is, over there is a friend of ours. She's managing the expo, and seeing as you're all big shots where you come from, she was worried you might, butt heads.
Is that so? Well, I think you can put her at ease.
Yeah, and if there's anything we can do to help, just say the word.
Well, there you have it. Nothing to worry about.
These people are your friends? How is that even possible? Drum up some business, all you gotta do is holler, and everyone on the first floor will be able to see you. Also, you have to come this way to get to the second floor, which pretty much guarantees that everyone attending the expo will notice you guys at some point. Not bad, huh? Thanks to the spot I saved you, you guys will be drowning in business before you know it.
Your point being?
Cross-referencing Yehoda's current facial expression against database. Confirmed. Analysis suggests that Yehoda hopes we will return the favor.
You bet I do. At least Robo-Girl gets it.
Okay, how do we do that?
Generating proposal. Complete. Yehoda, the next time you visit the workshop, I will reserve the seat closest to the hallway for you.
Huh?
This seat provides priority access to any dessert items delivered from the kitchen. It is also free from window glare and sits at optimal proximity to the teapot. By reserving this premium spot for you, I can guarantee you a most enjoyable dessert sampling experience.
Is this your idea of a fair trade?
Are you kidding me? That spot's usually reserved for me. I'd never let you take it if I didn't have my dessert budget to consider.
What's going on? Yehoda looks upset.
All right, I'll level with you. Since I saved you such a great spot for your booth and all, could you possibly lend me some technical support? Please?
Technical support?
This year's expo is way bigger than ever before, which means there's definitely gonna be more shenanigans going down too. I know, surely you have some kind of contraption that can, like, scare everyone at the expo into compliance or something. As the manager, I need something I can fall back on in case the you-know-what hits the fan.
Let me think.
If things escalated that far, shouldn't you just report it to Nefer instead of trying to deal with it yourself?
Well, yes, technically speaking. But if, for example, it was somehow kind of my fault to begin with, I'd probably be better off solving it myself on the DL. Remember those 3 kids? Well, that punk who was harassing them wasn't just some random nobody. He was just the one that got picked to stir things up. There's a whole bunch of people here who aren't happy with the booth situation. Now, obviously, they don't have the guts to pick a fight with the Voynich Guild directly, but apparently, they at least have the guts to harass 3 kids outside the confines of the expo. The problem is, I'm not really supposed to get involved with anything that isn't strictly to do with the expo, so the whole thing would kind of be hard to explain to Neff. Not that I regret what I did, but jeez, Yehoda, you sure know how to make life harder for yourself.
Okay, yeah. Sounds like we need to be smart about this.
Fine. Just this once, I guess I can lend you the Clink Clank Crisis Control Switch.
Agreed. This option meets Yehoda's requirement for an expo-wide intimidation strategy.
A Clink Clank Crisis Control Switch. What's that?
This little guy right here. I made it recently after getting myself into a really sticky situation. To activate the switch, you just need to give him 3 taps on the head. If you do that, there's pretty much nothing in Krai that you won't be able to handle.
Really? So what actually happens when you activate it?
You'll find out if it comes to it. But I'm only letting you use it once, so you better save it for when you really need it.
Okay, cool. I'll take your word for it.
Watch out there, Yehoda.
Just keeping an eye on things. Looking out for any problems that might need me to step in. Hey, you 3! What are you doing here? There should be at least one of you manning the booth at all times.
Accessing booth operation logs. Analyzing. Neb left to try and buy a new blueprint. Ati soon followed to try and stop him. Finally, Rhea came to mediate between them.
I keep telling you, we don't have that much Mora to spare!
I just wanted to have a look. What's wrong with that?
Guys, seriously, stop fighting!
Here's the thing, Neb. Even if you could afford to buy a blueprint, I'm afraid I couldn't allow it. I know you like building stuff, but these designs aren't for toys like the kind you're used to. They're for weapons, which are very complicated to build and extremely dangerous.
That's a load of baloney, dumpster diver. My designs are toys too, actually.
Huh? You build a machine that can blast monsters into the sky, and in your mind, that's a toy?
I mean, at the end of the day, is there really that much difference between weapons and toys anyway?
Not where Knuckle Duckle's concerned. That's for sure.
Ugh, that's not the point. Anyway, you there with the brown hair, you want a blueprint?
Yeah! I want to make some thwack and smack defense bots too. I also have some design ideas of my own. And with your bots as the basis, maybe I'll be able to try them out for real.
I get it. Your head's so full of ideas you want to bring to life that you can hardly sleep at night. You try eating some snacks to take your mind off things, but it doesn't seem to help anymore.
Exactly! But what can I do? I'll never be able to afford one of your blueprints.
Well, you must have blueprints for the toys you've made too, right? Let's trade! One of your toys for one of mine.
Really? Thank you so much, ma'am! Is it ma'am or...
It's Boss. Boss of the Clink Clank Krumkake Craft Shop.
Thank you so much, boss of the Clink Clank Krumkake Craft Shop.
Huh, that was very thoughtful. Who are you, and what have you done with Aino?
What's that supposed to mean? I'm a boss, aren't I? A lot of people depend on me. Looking out for them is a big part of the job.
Did that really just happen? For a moment there, Aino stopped being a little kid and acted like a full-on grown-up. A grown-up who's shorter than the kid she was looking out for, but still.
Previous records indicate that Aino has a 94% chance of adopting such behaviors when encountering a child in a similar situation to herself.
Ah, Traveler. Paimon. How do you do?
That's our secondary goal. To put it in Mr. Flintz's words, it's important for Lightkeepers to spend some time in the land of the living every once in a while.
That sounds like something he'd say, yeah. Are you interested in these muskets? Since we're friends, Paimon will let you in on some insider info. This officer here is basically selling scrap.
Oh, I'm well aware. The sign makes that quite clear.
True.
I'm interested in this particular piece because it brings to mind a picture I once saw. It featured several Ratniki and a Fatui officer who fought alongside them. The weapon that the latter used was identical to this one.
The Fatui teamed up with the Lightkeepers?
That's not unusual. I've heard similar stories from our older members. The owner of this musket must have been a hero who stood against the Wild Hunt as well. But why would you sell a hero's firearm?
That's just how the rules work on our end. Everyone agreed to it. Whether it's a no-name sergeant like me or a renowned hero. Our equipment is to be collected and redistributed once we're dust on the wind. The stuff that's usable is given to new recruits. And the scrap is sold for whatever price it can still fetch. That way, we can at least put it towards feeding the grunts, you know? Better than following them to the grave.
Huh. I think I'm going to buy this musket, Mr. Flintz. Could you tell me a few more stories about it when you get the chance?
Of course.
So what's the situation in need of mediation?
This person's been glaring daggers at me from behind since she arrived. Hey, you! I'm a member of the Fruity Order, you hear?
What a coincidence. So am I.
Wait, really? I first encountered the humor and intelligence of trendy Zaytun Peach in the New Tide anthology. Then I heard the legend of intrepid Valberry while I was in the Fortress of Meripede. The more I heard about your order, the more it drew me in. I've been searching for so long, but I was never able to find an actual member. So when I heard that the Krai Trade Expo was being held again, I applied under your name. And now, I finally get to meet you.
It's those idiots. Stirring up trouble again, huh?
So what I'm getting is that this guy's an imposter?
Our orders won the expo rights several years in a row, so we announced that we were backing out of the running this year to avoid conflict. Then, this guy had to come along. A few of the other groups were looking to duke it out, so imagine their anger when someone claiming to be one of ours snatched the expo rights again.
Well, no one's made any trouble for me. Wait. Does that mean you've taken them all out already? Man, I knew it! The Fruity Order's as good as they say! Can I join?
We can't make trouble at the expo. Voynich Guild rules. Once it's all over, meet me at the harbor in Nasha Town.
I see. All right, I'll be there.
Does he not realize what's going on here?
Also, considering our smooth collaborations thus far, a word of advice for the guild. This guy has only been able to keep his head in his booth because the Fruity Order took care of any rival factions. But if there's one thing the treasure hoarders have in spades, it's sore losers. Since our order has proven untouchable so far, they're sure to find easier targets to vent their frustration on. So look after those kids.
Huh. So this guy has been responsible for more than one conflict so far.
What do you think?
Not bad. Tastes just like back in Mondstadt.
Varka? You're here for the expo too?
Oh hey, traveler, Paimon. I was only planning to take a look around. Wasn't expecting this pleasant surprise. Out in this part of the world, even a homegrown Mondstadt apple is a rare treat.
Yes, and on that note, I should advise you that the prices are quite different from what you'll be used to back home.
Not a problem. It's a price worth paying for a taste of home. I'll take the whole batch. Send someone to collect them later.
The whole batch? Huh. Looks like you've already made your money back, huh, Leben? Oh, and Varka, since you're looking for a taste of home, have you tried the Mondstadt wine next door? Apparently, he uses special connections to keep the import costs down.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's pretty good, but not Mondstadt wine good. Besides, I wouldn't be able to buy any even if it was. We can't have the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius going around supporting smugglers, can we?
Oh, it's true. You're not gonna reprimand him though, are you?
Don't worry, I know it's Nefer's rules here. Not out to make life difficult for you. If you find yourself at a loose end, come visit our base sometime. I'm gonna get the Knights to make some cider out of these apples.
You're as generous as they say, Grandmaster.
Looks like you finally made some real profit.
Hey, don't make me sound so incompetent. Though I'll admit, I wasn't expecting to make my money back quite so quickly. Now I can start thinking seriously about my next venture. I'm planning on heading to Snezhnograd, actually. I hear they're running low on lots of supplies because of Project Stuja. That's a business opportunity if I've ever seen one. With any luck, maybe I'll have the pleasure of seeing you there.
Well, good luck out there. Hope you strike it rich.
You came all this way to investigate me. Still, as a member of this expo, I'm protected by the Voynich Guild. There's nothing you can do to stop me.
I know. That's why I'll be taking this up with them directly.
It's been a while. What brings you here this time? Are you representing the Dawn Winery, or are you here as Owl?
Take your pick. Even Owl would take issue with people smuggling the winery's products.
I understand, but please be assured that I would never pit the rules of the Voynich Guild against the interests of the Dawn Winery. Our long-standing collaboration is far too valuable to me for that. No faction exists in Krai that can impose their will on everyone else. The rules we have now are a result of the tug-of-war between them all. In any case, I only allowed this gentleman to sell his so-called Dawn Winery vintage here because I'm confident that it poses no threat to our collaboration.
I see. So this isn't from our cellars at all. It's not even from Mondstadt. You... I'm guessing you learned a few of our winemaking techniques, then brewed your own liquor using local ingredients from Krai. Imitations like these are no threat to our business.
Just you watch. One day, my wine will leave the Dawn Winery in the dust!
I'll grant that your wine is a perfectly palatable product. But the fact that you didn't dare to sell it without attaching our name to it speaks volumes. That alone tells me that I'll never need to worry about any serious competition from you.
Leaving so soon? Can't I persuade you to come to the Curatorium of Secrets for some tea with me and your 2 old friends?
Hey there! It sounded like you were discussing some pretty serious business, so Paimon didn't want to interrupt.
I'm afraid I'll have to decline.
That's a shame.
Next time you're back in Mondstadt, pay a visit to the Angel's Share. At least there, I can offer you a genuine Dawn Winery vintage.
See, Lolly, I've been told that the merchants here are all protected by the organizers. I'm afraid confronting him myself will be more trouble than it's worth.
Do I have to do everything myself?
Oh, please! Granny Eatsley, have mercy!
Chaska! Say, Lolly! What are you,
It's a long story. Basically, a few members of the Flower Feather clan brought word from Krai that someone was selling Wyob fragments at this expo. Pretty serious stuff. So I brought Seat Lolly here to get to the bottom of it, and hopefully keep things under control.
Oh. Okay, well, as it turns out, we've been tasked with mediating any disputes like this.
Are you intending to try and stop me? Look, I'm not trying to be difficult, but you don't need me to tell you that our Wyob are not for sale. Wait a second. This is just a shard of a Wyob pillar. And its power is long gone, so it no longer has any connection whatsoever to the Wyob. So, tell me, how much did they pay you to ship these out of Natlan?
About 800,000 mora apiece.
What?
Apparently, people outside of Natlan don't know all that much about our culture. Some people take one look at those pillars and start bragging that they found a Wyob fragment. I didn't want to correct them, because that way I could drum up the price.
Ugh, forget it. Since you asked me so nicely, I'll let him stay here until the expo's over. No point making a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh, thank you, Granny Eatsley.
Oh, don't start thinking you're off the hook. Once this is over, you're going straight to Biram to face the music.
Oh.
Why, hello, Traveler and Paimon. Oh, quite the opposite. I'm her supplier. Nicole came up with a delightful new pricing method recently, which I've asked dear Dory to try out. We're here today to see how it's all going.
What sort of pricing method is that?
Curious? Well, allow me to explain. Instead of an amount of mora, you collect courage, kindness, or happiness from the buyer. The key is to make people realize they don't have to be rich. With an excellence of character, even the treasures of the Hexen Circle are within your reach. Kinda like a Seelie guiding intrepid adventurers through various tribulations until they claim their prize. Such fun, wouldn't you say?
Not for me. We didn't sell much Hexen Circle gear this time at all. At this point, I'll have to whip out some Samara specialties just to break even.
Wait, you're actually losing money, Dory?
You're saying our gifts didn't reach that many people?
I'm saying we made diddly squat. Hate to break it to you, Miss Mage, but you don't have much of a heck for business.
It might not have made much, but this has been quite a fun little experiment. To make it up to you, all the revenue from our merchandise is yours to keep, Dory.
Oh, they don't call you a great mage for nothing, Miss Alice. It's almost time for the expo to end. I'm asking for half a month's leave once we wrap this up.
Finally got time to relax, huh, Yehuda?
Yeah, thanks to you. Oh, things are pretty calm right now. Should be smooth sailing from here on out.
Sorry, but I've got a problem over here.
Same here. Yehuda, you just jinxed it.
Someone made off with a batch of my goods using the goods first, pay later method. I thought the guild was the guarantor, but then I went to redeem my money and no dice.
The same thing happened to me. Goods first, pay later? That convenience is for exhibitors only. It works because their goods stored in the warehouse can be used as collateral.
The buyer did have guild-supplied certification.
In that case, he's one of you. Pick him out of the crowd and we're good to go.
The person I talked to was a tall, thin young man, but I don't see him here.
The one who bought from me was on the chubbier side. And nope, no sign of him either. Wait, so it wasn't the same person?
Miss Yehuda, we need help! Ati went into town a while back and we haven't heard from him.
What? Why would he do that?
He wanted to use the moral we got from our exhibit to buy everyone a little something in return for looking out for us. So he headed out alone.
Gods, this kid... Wait, did he have your certification from the guild with him?
Yeah, he's our older brother, so he's in charge of all that stuff.
Oh, this is bad.
Okay, let's not panic. What happened?
Remember those people who targeted Ati a while back? I'm worried they kidnapped him and are using his certification to scam goods off the other exhibitors.
Sorry. Oh, this isn't your fault.
Should we rescue Ati first? But Nodcry's huge. Where would we even start? We could go for the goods first, but we're dealing with a group. If they split up, it'll be impossible to nab them. Oh, come on, Yehuda, come on! You promised Boss Nephew to uphold the guild's reputation, and you promised the kids you'd protect them. This is all falling apart.
Looks like you're down to your last option, dumpster diver.
Oh, right! The Clink Clank Crisis Control Switch!
Clink Clank Crisis Control Switch activated. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders.
Whoa!
Activating the switch gives you temporary control over all the robots in Krai. If you wanted, you could turn this whole place upside down. But it won't last long, so think about what you want to do first.
In that case, let's get the stolen goods back first.
All units, advance to rescue Ati!
Miss Yehuda!
Orders received. Orders received. Orders received.
Ati! You're all right!
Sorry. I made you all worry.
If anyone should be apologizing, it's those awful people who took you. You just wanted to repay everyone's kindness.
They stole my expo certificate. Did that cause trouble for anyone?
Let's just focus on one thing at a time.
Inventory complete. All goods have been retrieved.
See? Told ya. With the Clink Clan crisis control switch, there's no problem in Not Cry you can't handle. With so many bots around, we didn't have to choose between the rescue and getting the goods back. We were able to do both.
I know.
These kids call me boss, and as their boss, it's my job to protect them. No way I'm letting them get in trouble with the guild.
Thanks, boss.
Ino's a great person to have on your side, huh?
To be honest, I could hug you right now. But I think I'll have that vacation first. Oh, right! I owe you a hot dog, don't I?